Hey all, welcome back for part 4 of recreating an Ocean Bay Slate spear point for Alaska Archaeology Month. I'm Monty Rogers and I'll be taking you through this process today, and this is the final part. Over the last 3 installments, we've taken this slate spear point here from raw slate down to this rough blank, and today we'll be honing the edges and getting everything just dialed in just right. So thanks for watching and hope you enjoy it. So we're down to a lot fewer tools than when we started out with. We got our main abrading stone, and I also got a chunk of sandstone here for it's a little finer texture for some of our finishing grinding to make a smoother edge. And of course we got our sand and our water. So let's get into it. And as we talked about in last episode, the sand and water really improves the coarseness of the grinding stones here and makes the sanding go a lot easier. Trying to get a nice diamond-shaped cross-section. So here's our progress so far today. Here's what we started off with, kind of a flat edge. And here is what we're at already with just a little bit of grinding. So you're getting a nice sharp edge here. The bevel's starting to happen. And you can really see some of the striations from grinding. So we'll work on the other side now. So I got the edges here of the blade pretty close to where I want them on this coarser stone. I'm going to work on rounding the edges a little bit of the base here. Then I'll get this cleaned up and we'll switch to the sandstone abrader to put on the final touches. And I'm using similar motions as I did before for some of the coarser grinding. This is a back and forth for the edges of the blade and more of a circular for the tip. So I got the edges nice and sharp. There's only one problem. I chipped the tip off while putting the finishing touches on for the edge. So now it's pretty dull and rounded, which isn't great for a spear point. That's one thing nice about this slate, you can really correct it if you make a mistake. And while I didn't clean it off real well, you can see it didn't take long to sharpen up the point. Well, alright, I like where I got this edge at, and so I'm going to leave it. I have a little bit left in the base to do, and on Ocean Bay Slate points, they have these little bumps along the edges here, and I think it's for helping keep the point hafted and let the sinew wrap around it a little tighter and grooved into it a bit. So I'm going to put those little notches in it here quick. I think I'll have to get a little different abrading stone to do these notches. This sandstone isn't holding up. It's not hard enough. It's kind of grinding away chunks instead of making actual notches. So I got this here. It's got a little sharper edge on it, a little harder. These grooves certainly won't be as pretty as the Ocean Bay ones. Oh, that works much better. So you can kind of see my notches here in the base. They're not as symmetrical as the Ocean Bay ones, but they kind of give you the idea. There again, my point is not nearly as nice as the ones those folks were making. So it took me about 2.5 hours of grinding to transform this from raw slate into a finished spear point. Not too bad for time investment in this. Now, ancestral Ocean Bay people would have had to obtain grinding stones. They would have had to possibly travel some distance to get high quality slate or coordinate trade for it. I didn't have to do any of that. So I got to save some time there. They probably would have been quicker at crafting this than I would have though. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this 4-part series on recreating an Ocean Bay slate spear point for Alaska Archaeology Month. I found it educational. I hope you did as well. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.